Chapter 5. Abraham Lincoln. The rain was still falling. But this time the mud didn't slow us down. We knew where we were going. And exactly what we had to do. The War Department was also on Pennsylvania Avenue. Only a short way from the White House. We ran past 2 marching bands and hundreds of soldiers. There weren't hot air balloons in the sky anymore. I figured they all landed because of the rain. We found the columned entrance to the building easily. And found the telegraph room even more easily. We just followed the clicking noise of the telegraph machine. I knew from class that telegraphs were used before telephones were invented. They were a way for people to send messages over a wire. Telegraphs were quicker than the mail. But still slow. If there wasn't a telegraph office nearby, you had to go find one. President Lincoln was at the War Department because the White House didn't have a telegraph office. We went inside expecting to see Abraham Lincoln sitting next to the telegraph machine, reading the news of the war. But instead a young man was standing by the telegraph, translating the coded messages. I started to ask where we could find the president when Zach called out, "He's back here." A man was sitting against the wall in the darkest corner of the room. He had his head tucked into his knees so I couldn't see his face. But I'd have recognized him anywhere. "President Lincoln?" I said. I wasn't sure how to talk to the President of the United States. "Sir?" He looked up and stroked his beard with one hand. "Ah, yes. There you are." He rose off the floor and straightened to his full height. I knew he was a tall man. But he was much taller than I had imagined. "I've been waiting for you," he said. He walked over to a small desk and sat down. "You have?" Jacob asked. Jacob looked at me. I looked at Bo. Bo looked at Zach. We were really confused. "Take this letter to the executive mansion." He tucked a piece of paper into an envelope. "My cabinet is meeting on the 2nd floor. Deliver it to the men assembled." President Lincoln thought we were messengers. He handed Jacob the envelope. "What's in it?" I asked. "Is it the Emancipation Proclamation? Are you going to free the slaves?" "This letter is much more important than any proclamation," he replied. Then after a short pause he said, "That reminds me of a joke." He stopped suddenly. He paused again and said softly, "I love jokes. But I cannot tell jokes today." "Why not?" Zach asked. "I'm always in the mood for a joke. I am not in the mood for humor." Abraham Lincoln looked down at his feet. "I feel too sad. We are fighting a war we cannot possibly win. But the North will win the war," I said strongly. Abraham Lincoln wasn't listening to me. A worker came and handed him a telegraph message. President Lincoln didn't even look at it. He just dropped it on the floor. "I cannot bear to read it," he said sadly. "It will just be news of another bloody battle. One more terrible defeat for my troops." He paused. "I want to free the slaves. But my army can't seem to win anywhere. I wrote the Emancipation Proclamation 2 months ago and have been waiting for a victory. All I need is one. I cannot issue the Emancipation Proclamation if we are losing the war." "I get it," Zach said. "Winners never take orders from losers." "I suppose that is one way to say it," Abraham Lincoln replied. "But you won't be the loser," I said. "The North is going to win and the states will be one country again. You will be everyone's president. And you will free the slaves." I was trying very hard to convince him. President Lincoln stared at me. "Winning the war is a dream," he said. "A silly dream. The North cannot win the war. And I cannot free the slaves." He shook his head. President Lincoln pointed to the letter in Jacob's hand. "You have been hired as messengers. Go now. Deliver my letter of resignation." He walked back to the dark corner of the office and sank back down onto the floor. "Wait," I said. "You can't resign." He looked at me long and hard. "I must do what is right for my country." President Lincoln drew up his knees to his chest. "I quit." he declared. Then he lowered his head to his knees and sighed.